Hello. At first glance, perhaps you allow the forces of nature that attracts opposite sexes to persuade you into thinking you stand a chance. Gaze an opportunity to charm your way into my pants and claim my heart as yours. Perhaps you saw a challenge. Or maybe I'm not the prize you had your eyes on, but I will not apologize for being bold and strong and passionate and bright and wrong. I display nothing delicate outwardly, and even though my inner battles are fought quietly, the words I let drip from my mouth and evaporate into your ears undress the more I speak to you, conveying nothing but naked truth. I won't attempt to lure you with my looks. I won't gimmick you with flirtatious gestures or charm you with superfluous words, and I expect the same in return. For over time, I have come to learn that first impressions are as finite as love at first sight. The things which live on are the mountains yet to be moved, so show me your ugly, your sentimental, your messy, your blunt, your just plain silly. Show me your weak, your indecisive, your cheek, your strange, your human. Because that's all there is to me. And these bones which frame my flaws, holding up these walls I keep to hide a heart that somehow always seems to find its way to my sleeve. Its strings are still being retuned by the chief musician, so whitewash the image you first painted of me, and if you dare to love this bird rare as rare birds with broken wings come, be sure to listen to her song. She doesn't sing it for just anyone. Why are we so afraid of being that which we naturally are sometimes? Indecisive, unreliable, weak, human. I'm here to talk about how poetry has enabled me to embrace these aspects of myself. As human beings, we all share the common trait that is 8 pounds of what comprises our largest bodily organ, skin. It's what protects us from the outside world and also what connects us to it. We also share the common trait of having vulnerabilities, but we also have what, let's just say, is an extra layer of skin that we sometimes use to hide these vulnerabilities. But unlike skin, it not only connects us to the world and protects us, it can also cause us damage. I'm a Christian and I go to church, and one of the things that has always fueled my faith is testimonies of other believers who have gone through some kind of a struggle. Being a Christian isn't easy. It means striving to live a life of complete selflessness and discipline, which in and of ourselves is not easy to do. Testimonies encourage me because it's one of the few times where I see the happy, well-dressed, well-rounded people at church who come across so perfect as human. When they tell these testimonies, momentarily that idealization that you see often of them is stripped away, and they too can say that I struggle. And even though they are being open with their weaknesses, they are also able to embrace that they overcame. We sometimes treat our weaknesses as if they are things to be ridden of or even hidden, because we're afraid that people will not understand or that other people won't relate to us. Having dealt with and had friends with mental illnesses such as depression, this extra layer of skin acts as a way of pushing people out, and it can also stop us from building deeper relationships with other people. One of the topics that I explore in my dissertation that I wrote this year on masculinity is the pervasively high rates of suicide in males, and how this is closely linked with ideals of masculinity, and that being emotionally vulnerable is culturally understood to be feminine, and men can't freely express their emotions without compromising their masculinity in some way. But the emotional restrictions that are so pervasive in culture aren't just gender biased, they also are cultural. And in the piece that I'm going to share, it just gives a snippet of that experience in my life. Some days, my mother's voice is a well in the desert, a breath of fresh air when life squeezes too tight her molo. Translates, I still believe in you, her. Ibinjani minyako. How was your day? Reminds me that even though I've seen better, the days which lie ahead will be far greater. She doesn't know that within each long pause, between answering her questions, I'm swallowing my pride. Concealing all tones of hurt from my voice, I practice an ancient art form passed down generations of African daughters and tell her, Ndipilile, I'm fine. And I'm not lying. It's a promise that even though I'm not right now, her presence is what's keeping my faith from dying. She is my everything on days when I feel I am worth nothing, miles apart from her. And decades away from myself, I pick up the phone and call her. She speaks in Xhosa and installs back all the value I own, reminds me that we did not cross borders to forget where we come from. We practice this art of masking our emotions and vulnerabilities, even with those who we most love and trust. But why do we do it? Why are we so afraid of being emotionally vulnerable and open to other people more often? As a performance poet, I frequently have the humbling opportunity of being very open and honest about my deepest experiences and feelings with complete strangers. The power of poetry has allowed me to express things in ways that I normally couldn't in plain language. And it's quite exposing as a form of expression than any other that I've known, having nothing but mere metaphors to hide behind. And this is empowering. For here is where I find peace. Sitting at the edge of the chasm of life's peak, where I admit that I am not all that I am, but what I try to be. Try not to be. Weak. Spilled out in the form of a prayer in poetry where I choose to undress my pride and risk it all to not hide what's confined inside the holy temple of my mind. Here is my Bethesda. I am weak, yet I am strong, for I have discovered sufficiency and the grace of the Trinity here. Where I no longer behold through rose-tinted lenses, life becomes an unfiltered photograph. I am analyzing closely what a piece of art it is. Woven together by divine hands, this tapestry of bruised beauty, and I am simply here, simply thankful to be here. We practice the art of masking our emotions so frequently that we're not even aware of doing it, that we are doing it. At least I know I'm not. And what I want to say today is we should be more willing to be emotionally vulnerable with others. One of my biggest fears for a long time is being weak, or at least showing it. And one of my favorite poets, Anis Mojgani, says, paraphrasing, sometimes what it takes to be invincible is to know that you are such. But today, what I want to say is what it takes to be invincible is to know that you are not. And that this is not a bad thing, because when we're able to embrace our weaknesses and look beneath the put-togetherness that we sometimes portray, we're able to regain strength from that. So whatever way you find best to express yourself or to be vulnerable, don't take that for granted as an opportunity of unveiling deeper aspects of you to others and even to you. And also as a way of finding the power through vulnerability to relate better to other people, as I have through poetry. Parading personal stories for others to simply admire how pretty pain can be. Some stories don't dance gracefully. or even craft themselves into a palatable rhyme scheme, because some stories are best served chilled. Give you more bone than meat to chew on for the honest, ugly truth to be revealed. There's nothing poetic about being a poet. When a poet takes the stage, they martyr their privacy for applause, freely making an oral exhibition of their hollow hurt. You bear witness to badly broken sacrifices. You enter a house decorated with jagged wall images of some loved and some lost, that no one excused the mess for prior to your feet entering the door on this stage, where scars are unraveled in front of unfamiliar faces, explained in uncomfortable detail as they unveil what's beneath the surface. Heartaches become fleeting sketches spoken into existence, hoping to find voyeurs, to make sense of it all, give it a purpose. The poet shatters into humble, bite-sizable pieces, scoops each one back up all at once and gives it to you, and calls it art. Thank you.